Here's my secret to success when getting started in real estate. This is what your first 90 days should look like when you're getting started as a real estate agent. I don't care if you've been doing this business for 20 years. If you don't do this stuff, then you're not gonna have 3 to 5 deals under contract at all times. Keep watching. Here we go. Okay, so I split my business up into 2 specific ways. I'm either working in my business, meaning I'm selling houses, or I'm working on my business, which is developing systems and plans in order to make the business that I do easier, get my time back, and for me to make more money. So in this, for your first 90 days, you're actually going to do both. Most people get into the business and they're like, well, I really need to sell because I need to pay for my bills. I just spent several $1,000s getting into this. And at the same time, should I work on my email signature, or like, should I record a video, or like, should I develop some cool swag so I can wear? They're gonna be getting distracted. And if you don't time block your schedule accordingly, you're gonna get lost in that. Now that's a little bit of a different video, but let's get into what your first 90 days should look like. Okay, in your first 2 weeks of getting started into the business, it's highly important that you're gonna wanna add as many people as possible into what is called a CRM, or a client relationship management system. Now your brokerage may provide this, or your team may provide this, and if they don't, then you're gonna wanna look at purchasing one as quickly as possible, so that way you can align all of your people who you don't know or know into one place so you can see what you're doing every single day for your activities. Let me give you an example for this. If you meet someone on the side of the road, you're like, hey, what's your name? And their name is David Brooke. And you want to say, all right, great, awesome. Well, I just want to let you know that, here's what I do. I'm hosting an open house this weekend, or whatever it is. They're going to say, great. And that's it. And then you never see them again. But if you have a client relationship management system, you're gonna be able to say something like, awesome, well, I'd love to invite you by. What's the best number to text you at? Or can I send you a quick email for an invite? And if they give that to you, you're gonna wanna put that into your system, so that way you can follow up with that individual over the course of their entire life and hopefully convert them over to being a client. So you're gonna wanna clue up with a CRM as soon as possible. And here's the first thing: within the first 2 weeks, you need to add at least 200 people in. Now, most people say, I don't have 200 people to add. Well, I've got a memory jogger. Feel free, click on the link below. There's a free memory jogger from my website. It's gonna give you a whole bunch of people who you probably don't know, like what's my next door neighbor, and what's the guy who delivers the mail every day, and then what about the person who I met at this grocery store? It's gonna give you a whole list of people that you can start to add to your database. Well, what you need to be able to do is, if you don't have those 200 people in, great, no problem, because my next step is gonna give you exactly what you need to do. So here's my next tip. You need to add 25 people per week into your database. That's 5 per day, Monday through Friday, into the database that allows you to interact with them. Now, here's the thought process behind it. You're like, I don't even know how to meet people. I don't know what to do. Don't worry, I'm gonna ease your mind. I'm gonna get you into sales. If this works for you, you're gonna learn how to do this business really well. There's a lot of outbound activities. There's hosting open houses, there's door knocking, there's going to coffee shops and meeting people, there's going to networking events. In any case, what you're going to need to understand is that this business is a numbers game. It's how many people can I meet in order to become their best friends. Let them know that you do real estate, everything from the front sidewalk to the rear fence and everything in between, and provide value to them consistently, so when they think of real estate, they think of you. And how do we do that? I use a little tool called my Contractor Scripts. You can watch other videos that I have on this, but essentially goes, hey, if you had someone who you were looking for, a list with contractors like electricians, plumbers, where do you go? And most people don't have that. And you say, well, I'm not sure if you know this, but I'm actually in real estate, and I know tons of contractors. A lot of people want someone who does great work and also is fair in a price. Would it be okay if I sent you this and other information from time to time? And literally everybody says yes, because this is of value to them, whether even if you're renting or if you own a home or multiple properties, or you're an investor. They're always looking for better people in order to work on their properties. And so in order to do that, you're gonna say, great, should I text it to you? Should I email it to you? What address should I mail it to you? And in that way, you can actually get people's information and start adding it to your database. Another great way that you can get more people to your database is by simply door knocking. If all of a sudden your blood pressure just raised and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine myself door knocking or going to open houses, this is sales. It's the idea that you're going to meet people, as many as possible, in order to educate them about what you do. What do we do for door knocking? We simply go out to the community, we knock on the doors, we say, hey, my name is David Brooke and I work in town. And today I'm hand delivering some mail, and I just wanted to let you know that there's an increase in prices in your neighborhood or a decrease, or there's more properties that were added, or we listed another property down the street, or another brokerage listed another property. Anything that you can do to have a simple conversation with them. And then what you're gonna say is, hey, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of buyers who are looking to live in your neighborhood, and there's just not as many houses as we like to have. Who do you think in your neighborhood do you think would be interested in selling? And you'd be surprised at how many people are really open to the idea to have a conversation with you. And then you can simply take down their address because you already know where you door knocked, and hopefully you've met them and you get their name, or you can look on the town records to see what it is. And then potentially you can either find some software, or maybe they'll give it to you, their email or their phone number, so you can add that to your database. You need 25 per week. When you get 25 per week, you start adding that up over the course of a year, and you're going to have well over 1,000 people in your database that are constantly hearing about real estate. Now, this is a habit that I want you to start from day one. If you start this from day one, you're gonna be constantly doing the number one thing. Like if you laid out dominoes, it's the one domino that causes everything else to fail. This is called lead generation. If you learn to lead generate, you're going to be having so many people added into your database, learning about real estate, and the probability is, if you do the right things, you're going to be selling more houses. So this all happens within your first 2 to 3 weeks. You're going to start this process. Now, most people say, well, I don't even know what to do. I just passed the PMP class. How do I even talk to people about real estate? Well, the reality is, by you passing your PMP class, you probably know more than most people do about real estate. The second thing that I would do within your first 30 to 60 days is sign up with a team that really knows how to get real estate happening in your particular area. Whether that's practices like I'm teaching you right now, or whether they have additional things in order to accelerate you, meeting new people. They might even pay for some online leads in order to get your database even more full with people who are ready to buy real estate. That's going to be so important. Why? Because you're going to have a mentor and a guide alongside you throughout the process who's going to be able to guide you when you run into situations where I didn't know what to say, or as people call it in the business, getting out scripted. They're going to say something that you don't know what to do, and you want to have a reliable resource that you can go to ask those questions and say, I just really don't know what to do right now. So that's super important that you learn that. Now, within your first 60 days, you're gonna need to get a property under contract. And most people are like, I don't even know what to do. Well, if you started this process of lead generation, you're highly likely, along with running this contractor script, to run into people who are saying, I actually am looking to buy and sell real estate. Now, I strongly recommend, don't go out there and say, oh my gosh, I just got started into real estate. You're just basically telling people that you're brand new to something. Instead, show them about what you learned. So here's what you need to do each day that you're working the business. Number one, you're gonna need to learn your market and learn your contracts. Learning your market is done by this. Pick a town each day. So out of your first week, you're gonna pick 5 towns. Of each town, you're gonna learn what you can get at 250,000, 500,000, 750,000, $1 million or greater. And you're gonna start to look at the types of homes that are able to be purchased if you were a home buyer. What could I get? Could I get a 2-bedroom home for 250 grand or nothing at all? Maybe just a lot. What can I get at 500,000? What can I get at 750,000 or more? You're gonna start to learn the market. Then start to ask these questions. Who are the major employers in town? What are the best school systems, and what are top rated school systems in town? And where are the best restaurants and attractions in town? I want you to take a note on your computer, or I want you to write something down and start making a file in every single town, so you really start to learn what's available in these towns and what can I afford to buy in these towns if I was a home buyer. By doing this, you're gonna start to learn your communities really well. That's part one. Part two is this: start to learn your contracts. Each area around the country is going to have their own contract. I'm in Connecticut, and we actually have several different contracts that are written, and they're all purchase contracts. I take those contracts and I learn not only what's in them, a section of them, but I also learn the additional forms that go alongside them, like riders or additional addendums. That way, as I learn this every single day, I've learned something new, not only in my business, but on my business, and how I can better provide value. And here's part three. Part three is this. I need you to record every single day what you learned. I know this sounds silly, but trust me, it works. Take your phone, and at the end of the day, let's say it's 5 o'clock and you're clocking out at 5, you started at 9, pretend that that's a reality in real estate. And you're just gonna hit the record button and you're gonna just talk to yourself. Now, the reason for this is very important. In this business, you are self-employed. Remember that. There's no one else that you're reporting to. You might even work on a real estate team like mine, And you might let people know what you're doing so they can hold you accountable to your goals, but technically on paper, you're not employed by anybody. You're just employed by yourself. And so there's going to be times where you're going to get discouraged. You're going to say, am I really doing the things that I need to be doing? And here's the best way to keep yourself accountable. Hit that record button and talk about what you learned today. Not something ambiguous like, I learned that I needed to be a better person, or I learned that I needed to make more phone. No, not that. I learned that in the town of Simsbury, the major employers are X, Y, Z. I learned that the best school systems are X, Y, Z. I learned that the best restaurants are X, Y, Z. And start going through so that you can record and learn about these things. I want you to save those on your phone or upload them into some sort of drive. That way you can remind yourself, day 1 I learned this, day 2 I learned this, day 3 I learned this. And by day 30, 60, you're gonna start to look back and say, you know what, am I actually learning in this business? Am I really doing what I should be doing every single day? Am I following the plan? Am I adding the 5 people to my database? Am I saying at the end of the day, well, I met my 5 people today, or I hosted an open house and I met 40 people today? Whatever that is, you're gonna wanna record that, so that way you're remembering. The other part to this process is you're gonna start to get comfortable, hopefully, with yourself on video, because the next 30 days after your first 30 are gonna be you not only learning the towns and learning to meet 5 people, but also recording at least 1 piece of content that you can upload that educates either buyers, sellers, investors, or renters on the home ownership, questions that they might have, opportunities through loan programs, what's happening in a particular town through a market update, anything that you can in order to educate people. Because real estate agents don't know this. They think that just by getting your license, everyone's going to be attracted to you. But in reality, there's so many real estate agents and not enough houses. And what ends up happening is that buyers want to know answers to their questions. Sellers want to know answers to their questions. Same with tenants and landlords. And so what you can do is be that source of value for them by answering their questions before they even reach out to you. You're establishing yourself as a market expert and as a local authority to understanding the markets in all of these different towns and counties, etc., so that when it comes to real estate, people see you. It also gives you a great way to reach out in your database to all these people who you're adding every single week and saying, hey, I just came out with a new video today about XYZ. Hey, I just came out with what's offered for sale right now in this town in these particular price points. Check it out. Let me know what you think. It gives you an ability on social platforms to post about what you're learning and to post about the things that you've learned in the current marketplace. It'll establish you as the pro to the other local pros in the area when you're working with deals. It helps you immensely. And it's also going to help your community understand that you're the person to go to when it comes to real estate. Now, I can't encourage you enough. Do not get distracted by lenders taking you out to lunch. Do not get distracted by phone calls that people are going to make to say, hey, do you want to buy some online leads and be the best person in the area? Do you want to market to the local Little League? All of that may play in over the next months or even years as you decide to work on your business and in your business and start to grow it. But the reality is this: if you do not get distracted from doing these activities of lead generation every single day, you will have 3 to 4 deals under contract at all times. Many people, they get obsessed. As soon as they get 1 deal under contract or 2, they start to think to themselves, oh my gosh, I don't want that deal to fall apart. I just need to do everything I can to keep it together. And they'll spend hours in email and phone calls back and forth, and they're wasting their time doing that. Get together with a team leader, get together with a mentor who really knows how to work a deal. They'll show you how they can maintain that deal with just a few, maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day, and the rest of it needs to be spent in lead generation. My friends, if you want to accelerate your real estate career, you need more tips like these, go ahead and click subscribe, click that little bell so you get notified of videos like these. We're coming out with them all the time in order to help you accelerate your career. If you've been encouraged by this, you want coaching, or even to join our team no matter where you are in the country, go ahead and click one of the links below in order to get connected with us. We can't wait to have a conversation with you free of charge and as a private consultation. Have a great day.